Hey, what's up, WVU? It's your boy Bernie Mac. Watching our Mountaineers get throttled. We'll talk about that on the halftime show right now.
To Morgantown, we break it first. WVU pride, we quench your thirst. No spin, all truth, loud and proud. Mountaineer nation, say it loud. The voice of Morgantown. VOM, Mountaineer pride, we go all in. First to the facts, last to the spin. It's the voice of Morgantown. Let's begin.
What's up, Mountaineer Nation? It's Bernie Mac. Well, this is not going as planned, or maybe it is going as planned. I don't know. What a disaster of a first half for the Mountaineers in Morgantown, getting thoroughly embarrassed on their home turf after a blowout loss to Kansas. This one's been a tough one to watch, and I'm going to start out with Jalen Henderson. Anybody that watches our show knows I think Jalen Henderson is trash. He's a running back in a quarterback's body. He can't throw, and he proved that in the first half of this game. I don't want to see him the rest of the game. He's 3 of 7 for 22 yards. I don't care about his rushing yards. We need a quarterback, not a running back. And this guy's not a quarterback. I've said it for weeks. I've gotten a lot of pushback. I think Jalen Henderson is garbage at QB. I don't think he should have gotten the start. I tried to be encouraging, thinking, all right, maybe he hasn't had an opportunity to get into a rhythm. He made bad reads. He pulled down the ball way too many times when he should have handed it off. Rich Rod chewed him out for it, and he hasn't made good throws. I don't care if Jalen Henderson leaves the program tomorrow, and I hope he does, because that guy is he's garbage. He's not going to be an elite quarterback. He might have an opportunity to make it, in the pros as a slot receiver or something, but he's not a quarterback. So for everybody that's given me grief over the last few weeks about Henderson and he's going to be a game changer, he's not. I said he wasn't going to be, and he isn't. So let's move on from Jalen Henderson. I hope he does not play the rest of the game. I hope he does not play the rest of the season. I would much rather see a Brown, a Wilkins, especially Wilkins or Fox, who I feel like possess a lot of the same running ability that Henderson has, but are much better passers. They go through progressions better. And it's just been a dumpster fire of a first half with him under quarterback. So for everybody that's been giving Nico a lot of hard time too, I think him playing with an injury, he probably shouldn't have been playing in the Kansas game. And for everybody that's been calling for Henderson, you got what you wanted for the first half, and we're getting blown out. So we need to move on from the Jalen Henderson discussion. Now, with that being said, in the pregame, I had said that we had to eliminate mistakes. We had to play a clean game. We had to make sure that we did a good job of containing their quarterback, which I felt like we did a relatively good job, but they're absolutely destroying us through the air. I mean, he's 14 of 19 with 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. You're not going to win a football game like that. He's made good reads. He's been patient. He has 21 additional rushing yards. I thought he's taken what the defense gave him, and he's shown patience in the pocket. And he's done a good job, and that's why he's a tough matchup. But I saw in the first quarter specifically, Zach Alley did have a spy on him, and he just made good throws. And that's what you're supposed to do at that level is read the defense. And if they're going to put a spy on you, you find your open receiver. And he hit a lot of under routes, a lot of slants, a lot of screens to put his players in space, and we didn't make tackles, and they chewed up yardage. So that's what happens. We've said it for a while. So I don't think that we've made a ton of mistakes, but obviously the false start, on Barnes, I mean, that killed us. That could have been a scoring drive, and instead we went to punting, and then, Utah goes down and scores on us. So little things make a big difference. It's unfortunate. That would have been like a little bit of a shot in the arm, I think, to get us into the second half. But Utah gets the ball in the start of the second half, and I have not seen a single thing from this offense that inspires anything. Clay Ash, I'll give credit to. I think he's running extremely hard today. He seems very aggressive. He's hitting the hole hard. I've given him a ton of crap. I don't think he's been the guy. But I do feel like today he's playing pretty well. I think he's, just planting his foot and going at it as hard as he can. And I think that's benefited him today. And I think he's playing decent. I'm going to also say that Rich Rod, his play calling has been trash, not just for today, but continually. And I don't know what he's doing. I was an advocate of bringing Rich Rod back. I thought it was a good hire. I thought it was the only hire. But, man, his play calling has just been garbage. I mean, absolute garbage. He has not adjusted. He has not given his quarterbacks time to get comfortable. He's yelling at them. He should be yelling at himself because he has coached horribly offensively going on the better part of 3 weeks now. I questioned his play calling starting with the Ohio game, and I haven't seen a change. He's still not running screens. He's not taking deep shots. He's not finding the space in the zones. It's really bad, and I don't know what he's doing. It looks to me like he's trying to establish the line of scrimmage, which is his MO. He wants to dominate people in the run game. But when you don't have a good offensive line and you don't have receivers that are able to block, you're not going to dominate the run game. So you got to switch it up. Like, what are you doing, Rich Rod? It's so noticeable, too. And you see these guys on defense every time pinning their ears back, and they're not doing anything because we're not putting our guys in a position to even win or be competitive because of the play calling. We haven't seen any deep shots down the field to Vaughn. We haven't seen any mid-level slant routes. We haven't seen any screens to alleviate the pressure. Jalen Henderson, when he's supposed to hand it off, he continually pulls it down and runs it. He had a wide open Rodney Gallagher on that on the one play. I forget when it was. But he had Gallagher. If he would have just handed that ball off to Gallagher on the reverse, Gallagher had 25 yards in front of him and totally clear. Henderson, because he wants to make a play, pulls it down and gets stopped. This is terrible. I mean, I made a comment a while ago about, the big difference with us in the Neil Brown era is that I wouldn't be shutting off games at halftime. And, man, the last 2 weeks, it's been really hard not to. And that's disappointing. I didn't think we'd find ourselves in this position. Now, if it was a lack of talent, okay, it's not just a lack of talent. I as much as I love Rich Rodriguez, he is pissing me off right now because he is calling crap offensive games. And I don't know why people aren't challenging him more about his play calling. He's running the same stupid schemes. It's actually, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Neil Brown's offense looked better at certain points. I can't believe I just said that, but it's the truth. Because Neil Brown, at least to his credit, would try and hit those mid-level screens. He would throw more. Like Rich Rod is trying to establish a line of scrimmage with a team that can't establish the line of scrimmage. So I'm beyond frustrated with that component of this. Our defense is getting absolutely destroyed on third downs. Utah is 8 of 8 on third downs. You're not going to win a game like that. I can't figure that out. Again, I think the defense has played well enough today to keep us in it. But if you saw the statistic in the game, we don't score points when we create turnovers. We're like 95th in the country. So even if you have a good defense and you create turnovers and you're not scoring points, you're not going to win. So it's been really frustrating to just kind of see this game, how it's played out. I thought it would at least be competitive after getting walloped last week at Kansas at home this week. And it's just not. And it starts with Rich Rodriguez. I'm sorry, for all the people who were excited to have him back. Somebody in that press conference room needs to challenge him on his play calling. We don't have press credentials, so we can't do it. But that would be my first question. For the last 3-4 weeks, Rich Rod, you're not calling any shots downfield. Why? Why are you not calling, good mid-level hook routes? Why are you not calling mid-level slants? Why are you not throwing the ball more? Obviously, you have a bad offensive line. You can't establish the line of scrimmage. Why are you trying to establish the line of scrimmage? I don't get it. That's like coaching 101. So seeing what's going on right now is very frustrating. So with that being said, I'm getting a ton of fan comments, so I'm going to try and address them all before the half begins. Not like we're going to miss anything. Utah gets the ball anyway, so I'm sure they're going to go down and score again. But here we go. So let's see. We got Jacob on Yoho, and for everybody that's watching, please go to our YouTube channel, Voice of Morgantown Media Network. Subscribe. It's free. You get advanced notifications for tickets and that kind of thing. So, Jacob, thanks for joining from YouTube. RR better fix the line next season or he needs to go. You know what? I would agree with that. Not that he needs to fix the O-line, but if he's not adjusting his play calling with a poor offensive line, is more the reason he would be fired. Let's see. Matt T. Can't block, can't run, can't pass, can't coach. Recipe for disaster. I would agree with that, Matt. Thanks again for joining from YouTube. But again, all that starts with Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rodriguez knows what he has in a quarterback, and he chose to play Jalen Henderson today, a guy that I've said for weeks cannot throw the ball. I don't care if he has 400 yards rushing. That's not what I want to see my quarterback. I want to see my quarterback throw the ball downfield. I want to see my quarterback make time throws. I want to see my quarterback drop it in difficult positions, keep it away from defense. Henderson does not have that ability. Let's see. Kevin Varney, we fucking suck. I would say yes. The last 2 weeks we suck, and it all begins with Rich Rodriguez, like I said. Let's see. We got Ricky Booth on YouTube. They don't want to play ball. I was thinking of this too, right? Like the defense has kind of been holding us into games and keeping us in games. It's got to be really frustrating for the defense as well to like just see the offense be completely inept time after time and just feel like you don't have a good partner on the other side of the ball and you feel like all the weight's on you. So Ricky, I think that's a fair comment, but I think it's more equivalent to just the fact that the defense has been doing so much of the heavy lifting that they feel like they're just carrying the offense consistently, and they're probably getting deflated when they see the offense go 3 and out and they got to get right back on the field. I think this year is done for. We need to get 4 more wins to get to a bowl game. There's not anything easy on the schedule that I see that would put us in that 4-win mark. So unless we find a spark, unless Rich Rod make some big changes to his play calling, like I said, in the pregame, I definitely do not see us getting to a bowl game this year, which is, it's frustrating because we've had so many injuries, but a good coach overcomes injuries and makes adjustments. I don't know what Rich Rod's doing. I have a hard time defending him right now, so I don't know that I would say that he's a good coach. Being a good coach, I should say. Let's see, Max Brown, fuck it, give him a shot. Agreed. I don't know why we haven't seen Max Brown yet. I am very high on Max Brown, Khalil Wilkins right now. I am on Scotty Fox too. I think he's the future, but I think the Pitt game where he threw those 2 interceptions rattled his confidence a bit, and I think he needs to do a better job of reading defenses. I think Wilkins does a better job of just not forcing things and taking what the defense gives him to keep him in a good position. But I would like to see Brown, and I've heard he's been banged up a bit, but we haven't gotten any clarification on what the injuries are. So, he's the other tenured quarterback that's played in the SEC at Florida. I would love to see him get out there and do something. And I'm sure Rich Rod's going to make a QB change in the second half, and if he doesn't, then everybody could call for Rich Rod to be fired because Jalen Henderson is garbage. I've said it for a long time. And I think I could care less if Jalen transfers out of the program tomorrow. We don't do anything good, Kevin. Well, yeah, I would agree. I really haven't seen anything today that I would qualify as good. Kill Ball on YouTube. Thanks for joining in. They need to give another year at least. W can't recruit top talent. That's not necessarily true, Kill. Money buys talent in today's day and age, and we have money. We've seen it on the basketball side. We've seen it on the football side. I wouldn't agree that we need to give it another year. Kurt Signetti at Indiana, went in and won very quickly and, had a great year because he paid talent and he got people in that fit his system. I know Richard came in last year. I thought he's done a good job of recruiting. Obviously, some of our transfers that we had listed, they haven't panned out. They haven't played well, specifically on the offensive line. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I thought losing Matt Moore was a huge mistake. We lost a ton of depth on the offensive line with Matt Moore's departure. I think Rich Rod should have been smarter about that and kept Moore on the staff somehow, which has really bitten us in the rear end. Let's see, Alan Arthur on YouTube. Everybody, again, thanks for joining from YouTube. Love all the comments. Please subscribe to the Voice of Morgantown Media Network. It's free, so please hit that subscribe button. Alan, why did we replace Brown again? Don't remember him getting us in. Well, Brown's a whole nother story, Alan. I'm not a fan of Neil Brown. He did nothing. He's never going to do anything. And the fact that he has not gotten another coaching position tells you what the other programs and everybody thinks of him. He's basically like a quarterback babysitter at Texas right now. Neil Brown was never going to do anything. He had us not ranked in 6 seasons, longest not being in the top 25 for our program, and he made terrible play callings too. So I don't think that's it. I think Rich Rod, I can't defend him right now, but I know Rich Rod's a better coach than Neil Brown by far. So we'll see where it goes. Kevin Morey, what's up with Jamori Robinson? I think he's not conditioned. I was thinking the same thing. We haven't seen him make an impact. I don't think he's in game shape right now, I'll be honest. I think the time away and not being able to really go through the practices with the team has really hurt him. And he's just not in a place right now where he's going to make an impact till he gets in shape and gets himself up to speed. Largest home deficit since 2003, John Kelly on YouTube. Yeah, for anybody that remembers the Louisville game a long time ago when Pat White and Steve Slayton first emerged, this is terrible. I kind of feel like it's the same situation. We need some young guys to step up. We need to see some different things, and we just haven't seen it yet. Matt T on YouTube. I like him paying so much for Robinson. Dune hasn't been affected. We actually need a QB. Agree on Robinson. Like I said, I just don't feel like he's in game shape right now. The QB line is valid. Like I've said, Henderson can run, but that's all I've seen him do. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I've said that from the start. I never advocated for him. I did not want him to start. I thought any of the younger guys or Brown would have been a better option, and I think that's been proven after a 3-for-7 performance for 22 yards in the first half. I played quarterback, and I could tell you right now I could probably go in that game and complete more passes for more yards than Henderson did in the first half. Let's see, JDL Drums. We look like an FCS team. We do, and a lot of that is a mix of play calling and just really bad decision making all around in several areas. Killball, love the honesty. Thanks. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. If I feel like we're all making mistakes, myself included, for anybody that's followed me on X, and if you're not, please do that. I am at Bernie Mac _VOM on X. I'm always very honest. I don't sugarcoat anything, and if I make a mistake, I own it. But I will tell you, right now I'm having a really hard time advocating for anything we're doing as a program. Let's see, we need Henderson as a slot receiver or running back. Again, he's a senior. I think he'd probably be I just don't see him coming in and like being that rah-rah cheerleader player that would make that transition. I think if we pull him from quarterback, he's probably going to be a little disenchanted. I don't know if he's played this. Let's see, it's our 5th game. I don't know if he's played in every game this year. If he doesn't, he technically take a medical red shirt. I don't know. I think he has played in every game though, but I'm not sure. Let's see, Jacob Yoho on YouTube. Max Brown, agreed. I really cannot answer why we have not seen Max Brown. I've been saying that for quite some time. I'd like to see what he could do. He seems to be, one of the more tenured guys. Why we haven't seen him, I don't know. Matt T on YouTube. Getting embarrassed again on national TV tonight was not on my bingo card, but it should trash O-line and QB we have. I would agree with that statement, Matt. For everybody that's been calling for Jalen Henderson over Nico, I think now you understand and appreciate Nico a little more, especially with what he's done, even with his foot. But again, I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it numerous times, Rich Rod, his play calling for the better part of 4 weeks has been garbage. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's overthinking it, but trying to establish the line of scrimmage with a team that can't establish the line of scrimmage it's not a good recipe. Kevin Moore, your offensive line sucks so bad it's hard to tell what we've got. Yes and no. Again, Kevin, there's things you could do from a coaching standpoint to hide deficiencies. Rich Rod has not done a good job of that, and I think he's being exposed, quite honestly. Huddy Smith on X, WVU is shitty. They sure have looked pretty shitty the last 2 weeks, so I'm not going to sugarcoat that. FWVU, I'm still a diehard fan, and at the end of the day, like I always say, these kids give up a lot of time to put on the gold and blue, so they'll always get my support, but it doesn't mean that I have to support Rich Rodriguez and his decision making right now, which again I say has been absolute dog crap. Kevin Barney, we're not even competitive. Yes, that's the frustrating part. I'd love to be able to watch a game and feel like we at least have a shot to win, which unfortunately right now, unless a miracle happens, I don't see that occurring. We look like a high school team. Yeah, high school, FCS, I get it. Pee Wee team, sure. Let's see, Matt TW, looks like it's bad since last week. Fair statement. But again, it's you look at the play calling, you look at schemes, and it's very repetitive. I said from day one it was overpaid, overrated. Yes, I agree with this. Mountaineer athletes on YouTube, and I've said it as well. And I've caught a lot of heat for it. People have said that I had something personal against Jalen Henderson. Want to be very clear, I did not. I do not. I just have watched his highlight film. I've watched how he has, handled himself for us this year, and I don't see it. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a talented runner. He's a talented athlete and nothing more. He does not have the vision. He does not have the skill set. He makes bad reads. He doesn't read defense as well. Quite honestly, like I said, I could care less if he transfers out of the program tomorrow. Varney, I hope Rich Rod knows it's killing us being this bad. I know he does. I mean, look, he's a passionate guy. I don't think anybody's ever going to take that away from him. But at the same time, there's some accountability that needs to be laid at his feet as well. We do have solid QB, but I'll tell you what, Matt T, if Rich Rod doesn't change his play calling, it doesn't matter. He's being outcoached very heavily right now, and he has been for the last several weeks. The defense knows his game plan. He hasn't varied from it, and he's being exposed for really not adjusting to any of the defensive schemes that are being thrown at him right now. And that lays squarely on Rich Rodriguez and nobody else, because at the end of the day, if you have a defense stacking the box continually, I don't care if you're Tom Brady, you're not going to move the ball. Let's see, Kevin, I'm trying to find a hope season or hope be found. Well, you know what? We never know what the rest of the season will hold. Maybe somebody emerges and they're a gamer and they change the season for us. Sav on X, WVU won't win another game. I don't know. If we find a quarterback, I think we still have a shot at a bowl game. If we don't, and Rich Rod doesn't change what he's doing, I would agree with you. Let's see, Pat White, Steve Slate. Well, we can't say that. I mean, look, Rich Rod was an innovator and a godfather of his own read and changed football, and everybody's kind of caught up to it. So I think he's got to continue to change, and unfortunately, we haven't seen him do that right now. Play calling is awful too, Matt T. Tempo, how does skill teams get opener and they get behind, lead, slowly control? Agreed, but I wouldn't even say it's the tempo. It's him constantly putting his defense back on the field because of his crap play calling. And that's how I look at it. He's not even picking up 2, 4, 5 yards at a clip because he's not running screens. He's not running outs because he doesn't maybe trust his quarterback. Zone reads with his offensive line, the quarterbacks he has right now are not going to work. So going on record with that as well. The only guy trying to do is Zach. I would agree with you. I've said before, I think the defense has kept us in games. I wanted Rich Rod. I did. I don't think there was a better coaching candidate at the time, but I've said this as well, Sav, that the contract that Neil Brown had that was given to him by Shane Lyons put us in a really bad spot. I think Neil Brown should have been fired 2-3 years ago. I've said that numerous times. The one good season he had, the 9-4 season, it was against sub 500 teams, almost every one of them. So you can't really look at that as an accomplished season. But Cignetti was always my choice. I always liked him. I thought he would have done a good job. But we lost him to Indiana because we were tied into Neil Brown. They didn't want to pay the buyout. So when this round of coaching came about, I do agree. Rich Rod was the best coach at the time. I am shocked, and I say it every week, I'm shocked by his play calling. It's unexpected to me, and I know it's been unexpected for everybody else. Tugboat's Video Emporium, one of the worst halves I've ever watched. I would agree with you. There's nothing good to take away from this half, and I wish I had one thing I could say that there was, but there's not. Jay from Bel Air on X, we don't have the quality players around the offense. I don't necessarily agree with that, Jay. I think, again, it's Rich Rod's horrific play calling that's putting us behind the 8 ball, from the jump every single time. Let's see, Metsy, honestly, no lie. I feel like Rich Rod watched 10-5. Yep, I would agree. His play calling has been extremely vanilla, predictable, and defensive coordinators are too smart not to pick up on it in today's game. You can't keep your defense on a whole game, expect to hold the other team. Agreed. We don't have players stop passing game. I don't really agree with that. We have one of the best corners, if not the best corner in the country in Coates. He's one of the highest rated cornerbacks that we've ever had. He will be an NFL player. But like Matt just said, the defense can't do it all. And Rich Rod has not done anything that's going to change the narrative. Defense, even if they're giving up 28, agreed. Quick glance, sick plays, agreed. Draw plays, counter, screens, whatever it takes. 30-second, yep, agreed. Replay the season, never seeing how well. Nico, I don't think you're ever going to see in a WVU uniform again. I think his foot injury is going to be worse than predicted, and I think he's going to transfer out next year, Tugboat. So I wouldn't expect that. Play calling is a joke, same players. Where running can be what Taylor offers around him, I would agree. Do we win one Big 12 game this year? Maybe, if we're lucky, if we find a quarterback. Let's see. Fox will welcome play for the future of the season. I would agree, and I'd rather have them get experience in a wasted season than have them try and step in next year. Let's see. We're doomed. Silender, no QB. Yep. For what we paid for Henderson, Houdini, Brown could have had Trinidad. Yep, agreed with that. Again, bad decisions that came back from the past. Nothing we could do. Unfortunately, we have to deal with it right now. Let's see. Either they don't have the money or maybe they try to accept Ty Edwards. No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think we've made some good investments. It's just, unfortunately, it just hasn't panned out. Playing Chat Powers, that's good. 95 total yards. Yep, 22-63. Agreed. I can't blame them. Tugboat, why would they stay? Weather's bad, and Rich Rod hasn't done anything totally different, like you just agreed with. It must be the worst time I've ever seen at WVU. Randy, maybe. Ricky, appreciate the affirmation on the play calling. Not necessarily, Jay. I do think we had the players, but again, I'm going to put a lot of this at Rich Rod's feet right now. So, I'm not really going to say anything other than that. Fanning FU Rich Rod on Fox, quite possibly. Again, if Rich Rod does different things, I'm not mad at Rich Rod. Sometimes you get dealt bad hand with injuries, but again, Rich Rod has not shown me that he's changed or done anything differently in this game. So with that being said, let's try and get back to the game here. I will be on again at the end for the post-game wrap-up, and hopefully it's not as messy as I think it's going to be. I appreciate all of you guys joining in, and we'll see what happens here in the next half. Let's hope we at least show some signs of life. Let's go, Ears.
We break it first, WVU pride. We quench your thirst, no spin, all truth, loud and proud. Mountaineer nation, say it loud. The voice of Morgantown. VOA.